There are a lot of questions that I get asked over and over again. And one of the most frequent ones is, when should I begin the process to start applying to register my trademark as a business owner? And the answer almost all the time is now, very soon, at this moment, right now. And that moment, of course, can be at a variety of different stages for a business. And that's what I want to touch on today. Quite often is when the business has just been thought of. It's just been coming alive and a name has been selected and the business is in the planning stages. Well, that's a great time to start the protection of the application process with an intent to use application, because otherwise that name is very vulnerable until it's being used. Sometimes businesses come to me just after they started using the name. They just opened their restaurant or their store, launched their website or their podcast. Yes, if you haven't protected the name already, now is the time to do it. Now is the time to file for the registration if you're at that point. What if you've started using the brand name on social media? Yeah, now is a great time to start protecting it because you are already out there publicly. You've told the world about it. It's exposed as an asset because other people know about it. And unfortunately, there are bad actors out there who might try to register domain names or other social media names or just mimic what you're doing. So if you're using a brand name on social media, now is a good time to protect it. What about if you're early in the business process and you're seeking investors? Is it too early to apply for trademark registration? No. If you've got an intention to use this name for some product or services, then even if you're still seeking investors and you're still a ways away from launching the product or service, it is not too early to start thinking about protecting it. And in fact, investors will likely be very glad to hear that you've taken steps to protect the name, because that makes it somewhat safer than a name that is not underway at the Patent and Trademark Office. What if you're a successful and growing business? Is now a good time to protect your trademark? Well, yeah, if you haven't protected it already and now you're growing, whether it's after 6 months or 6 years or 6 decades, it's not too late to think about registering it, and sooner is always better than later. Essentially the same thing if you're an established business. Maybe you're not growing like gangbusters, but you're rock solid. You've been around for years. You've never protected it. Is it wrong to think about protecting it now? No, it's not wrong. It's wise. If you're an established business, you've got an asset, your brand name, one of the most important assets of the business. And if it's not protected, you got to protect it, insure that asset. You do that by registering it with the Patent and Trademark Office. What if your business already has trademark protection, but you're expanding into new products and services? That is a great time to revisit your trademark protection and think about whether you need new filings. Definitely if you're launching new product names or service names, but even if you're launching new products or services under the existing brand, you're expanding your portfolio of offerings, you very well might benefit from new filings, even if you've already protected the name. Finally, what if you're looking towards the end of your business? You're thinking about selling the business or some sort of exit plan, a new chapter perhaps. Well, that is also a great time to start protecting your brand if it's never been registered, because someone who's looking at buying a business or investing in a business is quite likely to ask about that brand name and whether it's protected. And when you have a trademark registration, you have a tangible asset. You have a more protected name and you have a tangible asset that you can actually transfer with the company or transfer separately to a new owner. And that makes it more valuable and more easy to assign a value to the brand and the business as a whole. So all of these situations, you can see, it is better to start thinking about trademark protection now rather than waiting. And in fact, in almost every situation, it's better to apply to register your brand name sooner rather than later. Yes, there may always be a few exceptions where it's not a great idea to file now, but those are very few and far between. And I urge you to at least exploring it now if you meet any of those characteristics, those time frames that we just talked about here. If you want to talk about whether it's the right time to protect your brand name and your trademark, reach out to me, Eric, E-R-I-K, at Eric Pelton, ERIKPELTON.com, or just visit ericpelton.com and look for the Connect with Us button at the top, and you can find all the different ways to reach out to me.